Welcome, coin lovers and history seekers. Today, you're stepping into a world where metal meets meaning, and every coin tells a powerful American story. In your hands are not just coins, but living witnesses of freedom, leadership, and legacy. Let's begin this fascinating journey through three iconic treasures of the United States: the Liberty half dollar, the Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, and the James Buchanan $1 coin. First, behold the Liberty half dollar, a symbol of American pride and timeless freedom. With Lady Liberty standing strong, this coin represents the spirit of independence and the promise of democracy. Every curve, every detail whispers of an era when ideals were forged in silver and courage was minted into history. This is not just currency. It's a powerful emblem of America's soul. The 1971 Liberty half dollar of the United States is often wrapped in mystery, excitement, and bold rumors that ignite the imagination of collectors around the world. When people hear whispers of a single coin capable of transforming an ordinary life into unimaginable wealth overnight, this year is frequently mentioned. The coin carries the proud Liberty tradition on a half-dollar format, born during a powerful transition era in American coinage, when history, patriotism, and modern minting collided. To many enthusiasts, the 1971 issue is not just money. It is a symbol of hidden potential, a reminder that small objects can carry stories far larger than their size. What makes the 1971 Liberty half dollar especially fascinating is its place in time. It emerged just after the United States ended the regular use of silver in circulating half dollars, making this coin a bridge between the old silver age and the modern clad era. While many believe every old half dollar must be silver, the true magic of the 1971 coin lies not in common metal value, but in rarity stories, minting anomalies, and condition-based miracles. Coins struck at the Philadelphia P and San Francisco S. Mints are at the center of collector legends, where perfection, timing, and survival can elevate a simple half dollar into a treasure spoken of in awe. Collectors often say that value is born where rarity meets desire, and this is where dramatic stories begin. A 1971 half dollar with an extraordinary strike, mirror-like surfaces, or an unusual minting error can suddenly leap from pocket change to a collector's dream. In the highest grades, where not a single flaw disturbs the surface and every detail of Liberty's legacy shines sharply, such coins are viewed as survivors of history. These elite examples are so scarce that when one appears, it can trigger fierce competition, driving prices into astonishing territory that fuels stories of overnight fortune. The San Francisco Mint issues add another layer of intrigue. Specially produced coins, particularly those struck with exceptional care or experimental finishes, hold a mythical reputation among collectors. When preserved untouched for decades, these coins become time capsules. Their value does not come from age alone, but from the improbability of their existence in flawless condition today. This rarity is what leads people to speak of unimaginable worth, because the market rewards what almost no one else can own. The Philadelphia Mint coins, often overlooked at first glance, carry their own secret power, because they were made for everyday use. Finding one today that escapes circulation entirely is astonishingly rare. A pristine example feels like a message sent from the past, never handled, never spent, waiting for discovery. In the world of elite coin collecting, such a find can spark bidding wars that feel unreal to the average person, reinforcing the belief that a single coin can alter destiny. Stories grow stronger when errors enter the picture. Misaligned strikes, double details, missing elements, or unusual metal layers can turn a normal 1971 half dollar into a one-of-a-kind artifact. These mistakes were never meant to leave the mint, and that is exactly why collectors crave them. An error coin is history's accident, and accidents, when rare enough, can command breathtaking respect and value in today's market. Emotion plays a powerful role in this legend. The idea that something small, forgotten in a drawer or inherited without notice, might hold the power to change a family's future is deeply compelling. This emotional pull is why many believe you should never rush to sell such a coin cheaply. Knowledge, patience, and proper valuation are the keys that unlock its true potential. In the right moment, with the right buyer, value can multiply beyond expectations. It is important to understand that not every 1971 Liberty half dollar is a fortune waiting to happen. True greatness belongs to the exceptional few, those with extreme rarity, flawless preservation, or remarkable errors. Yet the possibility is what keeps collectors searching, examining, and dreaming. Coin collecting has always been fueled by hope, and hope is strongest where history leaves room for surprise. The legend of the 1971 Liberty $50 endures because it represents more than metal. It represents chance, discovery, and the belief that history still hides secrets in plain sight. Whether worth modest sums or astonishing figures, the coin reminds us that value is not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes, the power to change a fortune lies quietly in the palm of your hand, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. The story of a 1972 so-called Liberty $50 begins with a powerful misunderstanding that has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. In 1972, the United States was no longer striking Liberty walking $50. The coin officially produced that year was a Kennedy $50, a symbol of national pride rather than classical liberty. Yet many people still call it a Liberty coin because Lady Liberty's spirit lives on in American coinage. This confusion has fueled dramatic rumors of unimaginable wealth, overnight fortune, and hidden treasures sleeping inside ordinary-looking coins. The truth is both less magical and far more fascinating. A 1972 $50 from the Philadelphia, P or San Francisco S mint was not made of silver for regular circulation. By this time, silver had already disappeared from circulating $50, replaced by a copper-nickel-clad composition. That single fact alone shatters the myth of common 1972 coins being worth millions simply for existing. However, coins are not judged by metal alone. Rarity, condition, and minting anomalies are where legends are born. Where the excitement truly begins is in the realm of errors and perfection. A normal 1972 $50 might be worth only face value or slightly more, but an extraordinary specimen, one struck with dramatic minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or missing layers, can become a dream coin. These mistakes are accidents of history, moments when machines failed and created something unique. In the coin world, uniqueness is power, and power is value. The San Francisco Mint adds another layer of mystery. In 1972, it produced proof coins, struck with exceptional care for collectors, not for circulation. A flawless 1972 S-proof $50, preserved perfectly for decades without scratches, haze, or fingerprints, becomes a mirror of time itself. While even these are not worth millions, they command respect and serious money when graded at the very highest levels. Because perfection is rare and time is cruel. Many viral stories claim that a 1972 $50 can make someone a billionaire overnight. But these tales blur fantasy with reality. In the real numismatic world, only coins with historically significant errors or unique characteristics ever reach extreme prices. If a 1972 $50 were somehow struck on the wrong metal or paired with a one-of-a-kind error never seen before, it would shake the collecting world. Such a coin would not be spent. It would be studied, certified, and fiercely contested by elite collectors. The power of this coin is not in guaranteed wealth, but in possibility. Every collector knows that once in a lifetime, a coin appears that rewrites the rules. That is why experts warn, never clean a coin, never rush to sell, and never assume its value without professional evaluation. One careless move can destroy history, while one patient decision can preserve a legacy. Emotion plays a massive role here. Holding a $50 from 1972 is like holding a quiet witness to American history, a time of change, tension, and transformation. Coins carry energy not because of superstition, but because they have passed through countless hands, pockets, and moments. That emotional weight is why people believe they can change fortunes, and sometimes in rare cases, they truly do. If you believe you possess something special, the real treasure lies in knowledge and caution. Study the coin closely. Look for doubling in letters, strange thickness, unusual color, or alignment errors. A normal coin tells a simple story, but an abnormal coin whispers secrets that only trained eyes can hear. That is where value is hidden, not in exaggerated promises. The legend of the 1972 Liberty $50 survives because people love the idea that destiny can arrive quietly. While most of these coins will never be worth millions, The few that break the rules remind us why collecting is addictive. It is the hope that among the ordinary lies the extraordinary, waiting for the right person to recognize it. In the end, this coin does not promise instant billions, but offers something more powerful: the chance. And in the world of rare coins, chance is everything. One mistake by a machine, one untouched proof, one coin saved instead of spent can change not just value, but history itself. The 1974 Liberty half dollar is not just another old American coin. It is surrounded by whispers, legends, and collector dreams that refuse to fade with time. When this coin left the presses of the United States Mint, especially from the Philadelphia P and San Francisco S mint marks, no one imagined it would one day be spoken of in hushed voices as a fortune-changing artifact. Today, the 1974 Liberty half dollar stands as a symbol of hidden wealth, a coin many people unknowingly hold, while destiny quietly rests in their palm. What makes this coin feel almost unreal is not simply its age, but the mystery of its rare strike qualities, exceptional preservation, and rumored error varieties that set collectors' hearts racing. Some examples are believed to have been struck with extraordinary detail, mirror-like surfaces, or unusual metal flow that separates them from ordinary circulation coins. When such a piece appears, the numismatic world stops, because perfection combined with rarity creates value beyond imagination. Collectors often speak of the 1974 Liberty half dollar as a sleeping giant. Millions were made, yet only a microscopic number survived in elite condition. Coins from the P-Mint are said to hold raw historical strength, while S-Mint examples, especially those struck with proof-like brilliance, are viewed as artistic masterpieces frozen in silver. When flawless surfaces meet untouched edges and bold design, value transforms into legend. There are stories passed among collectors of 1974 Liberty half dollars discovered in old boxes, forgotten drawers, or inherited collections, later revealing themselves as extraordinary specimens. These moments are not just about money. They are about shock, disbelief, and the realization that life-changing value can hide in plain sight. One moment it is just a coin, and the next it becomes a key that unlocks a different future. The silver presence of this half dollar adds to its mystique. Silver has always been associated with power, stability, and wealth, and when combined with rarity, it creates a coin that feels almost alive with potential. The weight, the sound, the cold metallic touch, everything about the 1974 Liberty half dollar feels important, as if it carries a silent promise to those patient enough to understand it. What truly drives its unimaginable worth is a collector obsession with condition. A single mark can separate an ordinary piece from a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Coins believed to be perfectly struck, untouched by circulation, and preserved as if time never touched them are the ones that spark bidding wars, whisper negotiations, and stun silence when valuations climb beyond logic. The idea that this coin could make someone wealthy overnight fuels its myth. People are warned not to rush, not to sell blindly, not to accept quick offers, because true value reveals itself only to those who seek expert eyes and rare markets. History has shown again and again that impatience destroys fortunes, while knowledge multiplies them. The 1974 Liberty half dollar is also a reminder that wealth is not always loud. It doesn't announce itself. It waits. It hides inside ordinary objects, testing who will recognize its significance and who will overlook it. Those who understand this coin understand that timing, rarity, and preservation together create a storm powerful enough to rewrite lives. Even today, rumors circulate of undiscovered examples resting in private hands, quietly gaining importance as years pass. Each passing decade narrows the field, increasing desire and deepening scarcity. What was once common becomes extraordinary, and what was ignored becomes priceless in the eyes of the world's most serious collectors. In the end, the 1974 Liberty half dollar is more than metal and design. It is a story of patience, mystery, and destiny. If you ever hold one, remember that value is not always visible at first glance. Some coins are not meant to be spent. Some are meant to wait until the right moment turns a simple piece of silver into a fortune that changes everything overnight. 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, often referred to by collectors as the Liberty Anthony Susan B. dollar, including why some specific examples are coveted, rare, and potentially valuable, without copying from any external site. This is written from deep knowledge about U.S. coins and how markets value them, but not drawn from Google or any live site. Just well-informed, engaging coin history and value insight. There's a mystical lure that surrounds certain coins, small, shiny discs of metal that suddenly transcend their face value and become trophies of history, art, and chance. Among these, the 1999 United States Susan B. Anthony Silvertone $1 coins occupy a fascinating corner of numismatic legend. They were minted during a period when the U.S. Mint was trying to reintroduce dollar coins into everyday circulation, replacing the bulky Eisenhower dollars of the 1970s. The result was a Susan B. Anthony series, heralded for its historic subject, yet initially dismissed by many for its size and appearance. But for collectors, every detail tells a story, and some 1999 versions have become the stuff of dreams. At first glance, a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar seems humble, roughly the size of a quarter. With a steely color that doesn't glimmer like pre-1965 silver coins, it doesn't shout million-dollar treasure. But in the world of numismatics, context is everything. What truly makes a coin valuable isn't the year stamped on it. It's the rarity, condition, and story behind specific strikes. The Susan B. Anthony dollars were produced in high numbers at the Philadelphia, P, and Denver D mints, with proof coins from San Francisco S, and most entered circulation unimpressed and unnoticed. Yet among these billions were subtle anomalies and exceptionally preserved specimens that now command collector reverence. One of the reasons the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar has such mystique is because of the survival rate of high-grade specimens. Most coinage intended for circulation gets worn quickly. Scratches, bumps, and dings accumulate as coins pass from hand to hand. But coins that were set aside by collectors decades ago, especially proof coins or those with perfect surfaces, retain astonishing detail. A proof coin from the San Francisco Mint, struck with extra care and mirror-like finish, can display sharp relief and lustrous fields that seem to glow under light. These pristine survivors are the unicorns of the series. Collectors use a strict grading scale to evaluate coins, and the difference one tiny point makes can be staggering in dollar terms. Coins at grade MS-67, MS-68, or higher, mint state nearly flawless, are extremely scarce for this series. As you climb that scale, you're no longer looking at a currency piece. You're beholding nearly untouched metal that has defied time and circulation. The highest grade Susan B. Anthony dollars are so rare that even seasoned numismatists can hardly agree on what they're worth. Some auctions have seen bidding wars that push prices far higher than most people would ever imagine. Then there are the mint errors and varieties. Coins that were struck off-center, doubled, clipped, or otherwise aberrant in production. These errors transform a common coin into a fascinating anomaly. Imagine finding, among a pocketful of change, a $1,999 where the design trails off because it was misaligned. Such imperfections are prized because they're unpredictable, unrepeatable, and tell a hidden story about the moment the coin was struck. Certain error coins, especially with dramatic misstrikes or rare die clashes, can fetch hundreds, thousands, or more, depending on rarity and collector demand. Of course, the idea that one of these coins, even in top condition, might make someone a billionaire overnight is an amplification of hope more than historical reality. Even the rarest Susan B. Anthony dollars, while valuable and sometimes commanding impressive prices, have not, as of current numismatic markets, skyrocketed into multi-million or billion-dollar stratosphere. Legends form around coins because collectors cherish lore, and stories of unbelievably valuable single specimens spread with excitement. But in truth, only a handful of coins, like key date rarities from early U.S. history, think 1794 silver dollars, have reached extraordinary valuations. That said, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar does have its own crown jewels. Among these are coins from the San Francisco Mint with exceptionally high proof quality and no trace of handling. Surfaces so reflective and untouched that they almost feel sacred to collectors. In auctions where discerning bidders recognize such rarity, prices can climb into the high thousands or tens of thousands for select pieces. These are not everyday coins. They're museum-worthy artifacts preserved by fortunate hands for decades. Another compelling aspect is the emotional resonance of the design itself. Susan B. Anthony was a pioneering leader in the women's suffrage movement, and her depiction on U.S. currency marked a milestone in American numismatics, the first time a real woman, not an allegorical figure, appeared on circulating U.S. coinage. For many, owning a pristine example of this coin is about celebrating progress and history, not just investment. The story behind the face can add intangible value that collectors cherish. If you happen to own a 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar, especially one that looks flawless and brilliant under magnification, it's worth having it evaluated by a reputable numismatic grading service. A professional grade can unlock its true market potential and protect you from undervaluing or overselling it. Without that, even rare coins can be mistaken for everyday change, and that's where fortunes are accidentally lost. So while tales of instant billionaire status are more legend than ledger, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar remains a fascinating treasure for those who understand how history, rarity, condition, and human passion converge in small circles of metal. Hold it up, admire the details, and know that within the world of coins, even a humble dollar piece can be a doorway into stories of art, politics, and chance, and just maybe a valuable secret waiting to be revealed. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is one of the most misunderstood and talked about modern American coins, surrounded by rumors of overnight riches and secret fortunes. When people hear Liberty Anthony dollar, imagination runs wild and stories grow bigger with every retelling. This coin was the first U.S. dollar to honor a real woman, Susan B. Anthony, a powerful symbol of freedom, equality, and American history. Because of that emotional weight alone, collectors around the world continue to chase the finest and rarest examples, hoping to hold a piece that stands above the rest and tells a dramatic story of survival, rarity, and demand. The year 1979 is especially important because it was the very first year this dollar was released into circulation. Coins from first-year issues often attract intense collector attention, and the Susan B. Anthony dollar is no exception. While millions were struck, not all 1979 coins are the same. Small design differences, minting styles, and production experiments created hidden varieties that most people never notice. These tiny details are where ordinary pocket change separates from coins that collectors fight over, sometimes paying astonishing premiums compared to face value. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint marked with a P and from the San Francisco Mint marked with an S are the most discussed when people talk about high value. The Philadelphia Mint produced a special variety early in the year where the date appears closer to the rim, often called a wide rim or near-date style. This subtle difference transforms a common coin into something dramatically more desirable. In top condition, with sharp details and untouched surfaces, this variety becomes a centerpiece in modern U.S. coin collections and can sell for sums that shock people who once ignored it as an ugly dollar. San Francisco issues carry their own magic, especially proof coins struck with mirror-like fields and frosted designs. These were never meant for everyday spending and were carefully made for collectors. When perfectly preserved with deep contrast and no flaws, these proof coins feel almost alive under the light. Serious collectors pay strong prices for flawless examples because perfection is rare, even among proof coins. One tiny scratch or haze can destroy value, which is why pristine pieces command such respect and excitement. There's a powerful myth that fuels the legend of this coin, the belief that it is silver and secretly worth millions. In reality, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was made for circulation, not precious metal hoarding, yet the myth itself keeps attention burning. What truly creates exceptional value is not metal content, but rarity, condition, and demand. Dramatic mint errors, off-center strikes, missing layers, or coins struck on the wrong planchet are the kinds of anomalies that can turn a normal $1,979 into a headline-making treasure. These pieces are unique accidents, and uniqueness is a heartbeat of extreme value. Condition is everything with this coin. Most 1979 Anthony dollars were heavily handled, spent, and scratched because people disliked them and treated them roughly. Finding one that looks as if it just left the mint floor is surprisingly difficult. Coins graded at the very top of the scale by professional graders exist in tiny numbers, and competition for them can become fierce. When multiple collectors chase the same elite example, prices can rise rapidly, sometimes reaching levels that feel unbelievable for a modern dollar. What makes this coin especially dangerous to sell cheaply is how easily its true identity can be missed. To an untrained eye, a rare variety looks almost identical to a common one. This is why collectors warn people not to rush, not to clean, and not to dismiss these coins. Cleaning can instantly destroy value, and selling without proper identification can mean losing a life-changing opportunity. Knowledge, patience, and expert evaluation are the shields that protect a coin's hidden power. The idea that a single coin can change a fortune overnight is dramatic, but history shows that extraordinary prices are paid when rarity, demand, and condition collide. While not every 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is a treasure, the very best examples have proven that modern coins can still shock the market. Auctions have repeatedly demonstrated that collectors are willing to pay far beyond expectations for coins that sit at the very top of their category. In the end, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is less about fantasy and more about discovery. It rewards those who look closely, study patiently, and respect the details others ignore. If you own one, especially from the P or S mint, the smartest move is not excitement or fear, but careful verification. Within this small, often underestimated coin lies a powerful lesson of numismatics. True value is hidden in details, and sometimes the most ordinary-looking dollar can hold an extraordinary story waiting to be uncovered. Before I tell this story, one powerful truth must be made clear, because real knowledge is what truly protects a fortune. There is no James Buchanan $1 coin dated 1857. No such coin was ever officially struck by the United States Mint. Any claim that an 1857 silver dollar carries the portrait or name of President James Buchanan is a myth, a misunderstanding, or a modern fantasy created to excite collectors. What does exist from 1857 is something just as fascinating, historically rich, and genuinely collectible. The 1857 seated Liberty silver dollar, a coin born at the exact moment James Buchanan rose to presidency, even though his image never appeared on coinage of that era. The year 1857 itself is legendary in American history. It marked a turning point for the nation, a time of political tension, financial panic, and the approach of civil war. When James Buchanan took office, the U.S. Mint was still following a classical tradition. Coins did not display living presidents, and presidential portraits would not appear on circulating U.S. coins for another 150 years. Instead, the silver dollar at that time carried the image of seated Liberty, a symbolic female figure representing freedom, stability, and national identity. This is a true silver giant connected to 1857, not a Buchanan portrait coin. Now let us talk about mint marks, because this is where stories often become exaggerated. In 1857, the Philadelphia Mint produced coins without any mint mark, not with a P, as many believe today. The San Francisco Mint, however, did strike silver dollars marked with a small but powerful S, and these are genuinely rare. An 1857 S-seated Liberty dollar is one of the most elusive silver coins of the 19th century. Many were melted, lost, or shipped overseas, leaving only a tiny surviving population today. This scarcity is real, documented, and respected by serious collectors worldwide. But here is where fantasy and reality must be separated. Despite viral claims and dramatic promises, no known 1857 silver dollar is worth millions of dollars in normal conditions. Even the rarest examples, when authenticated and graded at the highest possible level, reach six figures, not billions. Coins do not make someone a billionaire overnight unless they are one-of-a-kind national treasures with unique, proven histories. What does make a collector wealthy is patience, knowledge, and authenticity, not hype. That said, the 1857 seated Liberty dollar still carries extraordinary power. Its value multiplies dramatically if it shows exceptional preservation, original surfaces, and untouched detail. Coins from this year that survive in high mint state are astonishingly rare. A single detail, sharp stars, clean fields, or natural silver toning, can turn a common example into a five-figure prize. This is a quiet magic of numismatics, where condition speaks louder than legends. Many people confuse James Buchanan's presidency with later presidential $1 coins, assuming every president must have had a dollar coin. In truth, the presidential $1 coin program began in 2007, nearly 150 years later, and it never reached Buchanan before ending. No silver version exists, number 1857 date exists, and no mint mark P&S combination applies to a Buchanan dollar. Any coin claiming this identity should immediately raise suspicion and be professionally examined. Yet the fascination remains because 1857 silver dollars are storytellers. They passed through hands during the Panic of 1857, crossed oceans in trade, and survived a nation on the brink of fracture. Holding one is like touching the heartbeat of pre-Civil War America. That emotional power is what drives collectors, not false promises of instant billions, but the deep connection to history that money once carried. If you ever encounter a coin claimed to be an 1857 James Buchanan silver dollar, do not rush to sell or celebrate. First, verify. Real treasure grows in value when it is understood, not when it is rushed to market under illusion. Authentication by experts protects both your wallet and the historical record. True rare coins stand up to scrutiny. Fake legends collapse under it. The real fortune in coins is not created overnight. It is built slowly through learning, discernment, and respect for truth. The 1857 seated Liberty Dollar, especially from San Francisco, is a genuine survivor of American history and a powerful collectible in its own right. It does not need imaginary portraits or exaggerated values to be important. Its worth comes from what it truly is, not what rumors wish it to be. So remember this: knowledge is the most valuable coin you can own. Myths may sparkle briefly, but truth holds lasting weight. If you hold an 1857 silver dollar, you are holding history. Not a shortcut to billions, but a legacy that rewards wisdom, patience, and respect.